My girlfriend cheated on me with my brother because he has a bigger PP, so I got revenge in the best way possible. Original post. I never thought I'd be making this post, but here I am at 3 a.m., unable to sleep and needing advice. I'm 28. My girlfriend Sarah is 26 and my brother Mike is 31. Yes, you read that correctly. My own brother. Sarah and I met at my best friend's wedding 3 years ago. She was this beautiful brunette making the most adorably terrible puns during the reception, and I was instantly smitten. We connected immediately. We loved the same true crime documentaries, couldn't get enough Thai food, and even bonded over our collections. I had my vintage cameras while she collected antique music boxes. She was different from anyone I'd ever met. We spent that whole night talking about everything and nothing. When she gave me her number, I knew this was something special. After our first date at this tiny Thai place downtown, we were inseparable. Every weekend was a new adventure. We'd explore antique shops for our collections, try new restaurants, or just spend lazy Sundays watching documentaries. Within 6 months, we moved in together, and I truly believed she was the one. I even started looking at rings last month. Mike was actually the one who encouraged me to ask her out at the wedding. The irony stings now. He was always the successful brother with the better job, bigger house, and model girlfriends. Growing up, he was the star athlete, the straight-A student, while I was just average at everything. But we were close back then. We had our weekly basketball games, Sunday dinners at our parents', and he even tried teaching me golf. I never got the hang of it, but those were good times. Our parents always said we had the kind of brotherhood other siblings envied. Looking back, everything started changing around June. Sarah became oddly protective of her phone, always turning the screen away and changing her password. She started taking it everywhere with her, even to shower. She'd jump every time it buzzed, and I caught her deleting message threads more than once. I noticed but told myself I was being paranoid. She'd had trust issues with her ex, so I tried to respect her privacy. The family gatherings changed too. Sarah used to love them, always helping mom in the garden or playing with our nieces. She and mom would spend hours looking through old family albums while mom shared stories about Mike and me growing up. Mom even started teaching her our secret family recipes, something she'd never done with any of our previous girlfriends. But lately, she'd arrive late with excuses about work or traffic. She stopped helping in the kitchen. No more gardening with mom. When she did come, I'd find her and Mike in deep conversation, heads close together, laughing at jokes I wasn't part of. Then Mike started acting strange too. He kept canceling our basketball games, always too busy with work or nursing some convenient injury. Our weekly lunches became monthly, then stopped altogether. At family dinners, he couldn't even look me in the eye anymore. Our golf lessons stopped. Now I understand why. Even mom noticed something was off, asking me if Mike and I had gotten into a fight. I wish it had been that simple. The changes in Sarah became more obvious as summer went on. She started working late more often, going to the gym at odd hours. Her friends seemed confused when I'd mention her plans. The girls' nights and work events she'd used as excuses. She bought new clothes, changed her hairstyle, started wearing different perfume. All the classic signs were there, but I trusted her completely. Yesterday, everything fell apart. Sarah left her laptop open while she went to the gym. A message popped up from Mike. I know I shouldn't have looked, but something in my gut just snapped. Maybe it was the way his name appeared with a heart emoji. Maybe it was remembering all those suspicious gym visits. Whatever it was, I clicked. What I found shattered my world. Hundreds of messages dating back months. They've been meeting up since June, always when I was working late or traveling for business, in my apartment, in our bed. But the worst part was how they talked about me in their messages. They spent hours mocking me. Sarah told Mike I was nothing compared to him, even pointing out he was more generously endowed by nature. Mike bragged about being superior in every way that matters. They joked about nearly getting caught, like at Dad's birthday when they snuck off to the garage while I helped Mom with the cake, or during the 4th of July barbecue when they disappeared for an hour to pick up more ice. The messages got worse as I read on. They've been planning to announce their relationship at tomorrow's Christmas dinner. Mike wrote about how he couldn't wait to stop sneaking around. Sarah replied that I was too naive to figure it out, mentioning how I believed their excuse about looking for a cooler in the basement at the Labor Day BBQ. They even had the nerve to plan their announcement during Mom's beloved Christmas dinner tradition, 3 years. 3 years I gave her. All those family events, they were probably laughing behind my back. Every business trip, every late night at the office, they were together in my bed, mocking me. All those times I bragged to my friends about how lucky I was to have such an amazing girlfriend and a close relationship with my brother. What a fool I was. The whole family will be there. Parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins. Sarah texted an hour ago asking what time we're heading over, acting like everything's normal. Mike's been posting in the family group chat about Mom's famous turkey. Mom's been cooking for days, making sure everything is perfect for her favorite holiday. Every year after dinner, our family watches a photo slideshow on the big TV in the living room. Mom takes pictures all year for this tradition. She captures every birthday, every barbecue, every family gathering. I have access to the laptop that runs the slideshow. I've backed up all their messages. The dinner's at 4 p.m. I have to walk into that house and face everyone. I haven't slept. All the evidence was on my cloud drive. Hundreds of their messages, every cruel word, every mocking comparison, every plan they made behind my back. One click, and it all goes into the slideshow folder. Mom's Christmas dinner starts in 13 hours, and they don't know that I've seen everything. That I know about their plan to announce their love to the family. The doors to my parents' house never felt heavier than they did the night of the dinner. Even from the driveway, I could see the warm glow of Mom's Christmas decorations through the windows. Cars lined the street. Aunt Linda's minivan, Grandpa's vintage Cadillac, my cousin Steve's pickup truck. Sarah drove separately, texting me that she'd be fashionably late. I walked in carrying the laptop with the modified slideshow, and Mom immediately wrapped me in one of her bear hugs. The house smelled like roasted turkey and her famous cranberry sauce. Through the kitchen doorway, I could see the dining room table set with her best china, the nice silverware she only uses for Christmas. Mike was already there, chatting with our cousins in the living room. When he saw me, he had the nerve to wave and smile like nothing was wrong. Our eyes met for a moment, and I saw a flash of something, guilt, maybe fear, before he turned back to his conversation. The next 2 hours were torture. Watching Sarah arrive, greeting everyone with hugs and kisses, seeing her and Mike carefully maintain their distance, but catching their subtle glances. Mom kept asking why I wasn't eating much. How could I? Every time Sarah laughed at someone's joke, every time Mike joined a conversation, my hand tightened around the laptop. And then after dinner, as everyone settled into the living room with dessert, Mom announced it was time for the annual Christmas photo slideshow. My heart was pounding as I set up the laptop, connecting it to the TV. Mike and Sarah sat on opposite ends of the room. Smart, but too late. The slideshow started normally. Mom's photos from throughout the year, Easter brunch, 4th of July barbecue, Labor Day weekend. Everyone laughed and commented on the memories. Then the screen went black. The first message appeared. Sarah to Mike. I can't wait until we don't have to hide anymore. He's so clueless. The room went silent. Then another message. Mike. After Christmas dinner, we'll finally be free to be together. He never deserved you anyway. More messages filled the screen. Their cruel jokes, their mocking comments, the detailed plans of their meetups, Sarah's brutal comparisons about Mike being more of a man in every way. The photos they sent each other from my apartment, my bed. I heard Mom's sharp intake of breath, Aunt Linda's quiet, "Oh my God," Grandpa's coffee cup hitting the saucer. Sarah jumped up, face white as a sheet. Mike tried to say something about the messages being fake, but his voice cracked. Then the garage photo from Dad's birthday appeared. The basement photo from Labor Day. Security camera footage from our apartment building's elevator, time-stamped during my business trips. Their own words and pictures projected larger than life. Dad stood up first. In 30 years, I'd never seen him so angry. He pointed at Mike, hand shaking, but no words came out. Mom started crying. My teenage cousins were quickly ushered out of the room by their parents. Sarah tried to approach me, tears streaming down her face. I can explain, she started, but Aunt Linda stepped between us. I think you need to leave, she said, her voice ice cold. Sarah looked around the room, finding no sympathy, and ran out crying. Mike tried to defend himself, spouting some nonsense about true love, and we didn't mean for it to happen. Dad finally found his voice. Get out of my house, he said quietly. When Mike tried to argue, Dad's voice rose to a roar I'd never heard before. Get out! The room exploded into chaos. Mom collapsed into her chair, sobbing. My aunts surrounded her. Uncle Rick and Cousin Steve literally pushed Mike toward the door when he wouldn't leave. Grandpa started having chest pains, and someone called for his heart medication. I stood there, watching my family implode. The slideshow kept playing in the background, more evidence of their betrayal flickering across the screen. Finally, Aunt Linda shut off the TV. Dad came over and pulled me into a crushing hug. I could feel him shaking. "I'm so sorry, son," he whispered. Mom joined us, her tears soaking my shoulder. For a long moment, we just stood there, holding each other while the rest of the family moved around us in a daze. The next few hours were a blur. Family members hugging me, expressing their shock and support. Phones buzzing with messages from Mike and Sarah, ignored by everyone. Aunt Linda and Uncle Rick salvaging what they could of Christmas dessert, making coffee, trying to restore some normalcy. As guests started leaving, each one hugged me tighter than usual. Cousin Steve promised to take care of Mike if needed. Aunt Linda kissed my cheek and whispered, "You did the right thing." Even Grandpa, still shaky from his near episode, squeezed my shoulder on his way out. Finally, it was just Mom, Dad, and me. The house felt enormous and empty. Mom's perfect Christmas dinner ended with half-empty plates and abandoned cups of coffee. Her beautiful decorations seemed to mock the disaster that had unfolded beneath them. "Stay here tonight," Mom said, already heading to make up my old room. "Your father will get your things from the apartment tomorrow." I didn't argue. The thought of returning to that apartment where they had betrayed me so many times made me sick. Dad poured us both a drink, the expensive scotch he saves for special occasions. We sat in silence for a while, Christmas tree lights blinking in the darkness. Sarah's last text came at midnight. "Please, we need to talk. This isn't how we wanted you to find out." I blocked her number. After blocking her, I was thinking in my mind, tomorrow, I'll deal with the apartment, the shared accounts, the tangled mess of separating our lives. But tonight, in my childhood bedroom listening to Mom and Dad's quiet voices downstairs, I finally felt like I could breathe again. The truth cost me a brother and a girlfriend, but I refused to regret exposing them. Some secrets shouldn't be kept, even at Christmas. A week passed since Christmas dinner. The apartment felt empty when Dad and Steve helped me move everything out. The whole time we packed, I kept finding little reminders of their betrayal. A receipt from a restaurant they visited while I was away. Her spare makeup in Mike's favorite color. A hotel keycard hidden in a drawer. The family was still reeling. Mom barely left her room, and when she did, she burst into tears looking at family photos. Dad took down every picture of Mike from the house. He also removed Mike from the family business. Turned out betraying your brother didn't sit well with the board members either. Sarah started leaving voicemails on everyone's phones, trying to explain herself. Her story kept changing. First, it was love at first sight. Then, Mike seduced her. Then, she was unhappy with me. When she tried telling Mom that Mike had manipulated her, Mom hung up on her. Mike's true colors showed quickly. After Dad cut him off from the business, he started spreading lies about me to extended family. But the screenshots didn't lie. Every relative who doubted me got sent the evidence. Aunt Linda made sure every family member knew exactly what kind of person he really was. The most shocking part came when more women stepped forward. Two of Mike's ex-girlfriends reached out after hearing what happened. Turned out my brother had a pattern of going after his friends and co-workers' girlfriends. He got off on the betrayal, one of them said. Sarah wasn't special. She was just another conquest. Sarah's sister told me that Sarah had moved back home. Mike already had a new girlfriend. Sarah found out through Instagram. Her sister said she was devastated, finally realizing she was just another notch on his belt. That betrayal lit a fire in me. The next morning, I joined a new gym closer to my new apartment. 5 days a week, I was there at 5 a.m. before work. All that anger, all that pain, I poured it into transforming myself. The trainer there, Marcus, became a good friend. He taught me about proper form, nutrition, and most importantly, self-respect. The family business thrived under the changes Dad and I implemented. Where Mike had been all talk and office politics, I focused on real improvements. Within 3 months, our efficiency was up 40%. Clients who'd been wary of Mike's smooth talk appreciated my honest approach. The board even nominated me for a regional leadership award. One night, Dad invited me over for dinner. It was just the three of us eating Mom's lasagna in near silence. But then Mom spoke up. She said she was done grieving for Mike. "He's not the son I raised," she said. Dad reached for her hand across the table, and I saw tears in his eyes. We spent that evening looking at old photos, the ones without Mike, and sharing memories that didn't hurt anymore. The changes in my life started showing. 6 months of dedication at the gym transformed my body. The confident way I carried myself drew attention. But more importantly, I learned to value myself. Marcus introduced me to his hiking group. Every weekend, we tackled different trails. The peace I found on those mountaintops helped heal my soul. At work, I discovered I had talents Mike always overshadowed. My team respected my leadership style. When I landed 3 major contracts in 1 month, Dad proudly handed me the position that should have been Mike's. The look on his face, pure pride, no regrets about Mike, meant everything. Sarah sent one final email. Something about regret, about realizing what she lost, about seeing Mike's true nature too late. I deleted it without reading past the first line. Her words didn't matter anymore. I was too busy living. My new apartment became a symbol of fresh starts. I took up cooking classes, learned to make Mom's recipes even better, started a small indoor garden, hosted dinner parties for my new friends from the hiking group. One of them, Emma, a wildlife photographer, started showing up early to help cook. Her smile never carried hidden motives like Sarah's did. Several people asked if I regretted exposing them at Christmas dinner, if I wished I'd handled it differently. The answer was no. Their betrayal killed any chance of a quiet resolution. They had planned to humiliate me in front of my family. I just beat them to it. More importantly, their betrayal pushed me to become someone stronger than Mike ever was. Mom planned a family gathering for New Year's. A fresh start, she called it. Aunt Linda brought her famous pot roast. Cousin Steve's wife made her apple pie. The family saw the new me, not just physically stronger but mentally tougher. The quiet confidence I'd gained spoke louder than Mike's arrogance ever did. As for Mike and Sarah, they stayed blocked on everyone's phones. Last we heard, Mike's new girlfriend caught him cheating too. Sarah moved to another city, her social media filled with quotes about regret. They made their choices. They could live with them. The transformation continued. Each milestone at the gym, each successful presentation at work, each new friendship formed, they all helped erase those painful memories. I even started mentoring at a youth center, teaching kids about business and self-respect. The golf clubs Mike had given me, I donated them to one of those kids who showed real promise. Emma and I kept our relationship slow and honest. She taught me to trust again, showing me what real connection felt like. No games, no lies, just genuine care and respect. Looking at her, I thanked whatever twist of fate exposed Mike and Sarah's betrayal. They say the best revenge is living well. Maybe that's true. But I learned something else. The truth, no matter how painful, no matter when it comes out, sets you free. Even at Christmas, especially at Christmas.